Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Of course, nothing is complete when it comes to culture without talking about the beauty of fashion. And I'm so excited because in studio with us this morning, we have RSD, Rajendra Sahadeosingh Designs. I tell you, I'm already tongue-tied because the amazing fashion is just out of this world in studio. You'll get to see it in a minute. But for now, let's have a conversation with Rajendra. Good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. Excited to be here as always. TTT is one of my favorite stations.
And we're so excited to have you here as well because this is absolutely monumental. Fashion, of course, is something that many will say is synonymous with East Indian culture, with heritage. And you've definitely been able to throw your, let's say, your flair onto that in Trinidad and Tobago. But before we get into the now, let's go back a little bit and talk about what brought you to where you are today with RSD.
Well, basically, I have a detail for clothes, and my friend saw it. I was guided by two friends and said, Rajendra, you have a skill, you have an art that is very rare, it's so personal, and it's so detailed.
Right.
And they pushed me into forming the brand RSD. And I got together in 2020, and it was supposed to be launched on the 15th of March. Unfortunately, with COVID, it had shut down the entire country. So the production of the launch of RSD was put on hold. However, you know, there's a lot of background work. So we had pictures and stuff ready to launch via social media. But COVID and lockdown was something that no one knew. So we held on for a couple months, and then I realized that Indian arrival day was very significant for me as well, and for fashion, because that is when it came to Trinidad, and my brand, it was so different and unique that I tried to incorporate the bringing together of my brand as well as the heritage on that same day. So I incorporated the heritage part of it with the modern Caribbean flair that is RSD.
That's such an admirable feat as well, to launch launch a fashion house during COVID-19. Were there any doubts in your mind when it first came to you?
Yes, because I was wondering, because no one knew what, like I said, no one knew what it was. So I was wondering, if I invested all this amount of time, where will people wear it?
Yeah.
How long will the designs be outdated? What will really happen? But I said, I got the support from before, so I just said, just keep going, go ahead. And tomorrow actually will be 4 years.
Wow.
And I have, as a brand, a very young brand, I have made it on a lot of the local televisions, like a local artists. I've even made it on international television as well, worldwide. So as a newcomer to the fashion industry, I would say I've done well for the brand.
Yes, you definitely have, and we will definitely give you your flowers while you are here and say fantastic job. And we look forward to what the future holds for RSD. Now let's get a little bit into the influences, because you did mention the Caribbean influence mixed with the traditional. How do you work that into your pieces particularly? Because if I'm not mistaken, you do individual pieces,
Yes, I try not to ensure that no two persons have the same outfit, because I find that once you step out, you must have that wow factor, and a wow factor, and that sense of pride should belong to you and you alone. So whatever I do as an individual piece is never duplicated to another person.
Absolutely amazing. And viewers, you're going to see some of that in a short while. But before we get to that, how would you say that fashion, or East Indian fashion, has evolved over the years from what you've seen?
Right. Well, fashion has definitely evolved. And I look and realize that in the Caribbean and Trinidad and Tobago, we have the authentic work with a lot of beadings and stuff, but then there's the type where you want to go to a function, but you don't want all that what I would call weight.
Right. Yeah.
So I made sure I factor in the temperature, the humidity and stuff and things. So I would use, like, depends on the time of the year, I will make light clothing, heavy clothing for everyone, whatever they like. So when you step out, yes, it has the Indian influence, the East Indian influence, but it's made for the Caribbean woman and man.
We definitely appreciate that, especially when you factor in the heat as well, because it's definitely a lot of cloth, which I know for many it will tend to change what their choice is, depending on whether they want to wear a sari or other forms of traditional wear, garara and that sort of thing, if I'm not mistaken. All right, but for right now, what do you see as trending for Indian fashion in Trinidad and Tobago?
Indian fashion has trended into where there's a lot of light fabric, frills and lace. It has been influenced by Hollywood. As you can see, Bollywood and Hollywood is merging so much now that I try to make sure that Indian wear could be worn as an evening gown as well. So you may have a garara, or I would create something as a gown that could be worn as a garara. Depends on the jewelry and the style that you wear, the show.
Absolutely excellent. Now, as you mentioned jewelry, let's take a look at our first model who's here with us this morning with some stunning pieces. Please.
So our first model here is Ariel Rampasad. She is wearing a pink garara, and the influence is made with the frills, and the artisan work is done. So this is a modern take on the traditional sari.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. So and she accentuates the outfit with matching jewelry to ensure that the outfit gets the glam that it requires.
So this is so interesting as well, particularly with the jewelry, because there's something, you know, like for those who are not invested or are aware of the culture, they may think this is bridal jewelry. Is this bridal jewelry or anybody can wear this?
It is bridal jewelry because of the detailed in it. But if you look at the pieces, you can deconstruct the entire set, and you can wear it as simple pieces as well.
Absolutely wonderful. Let's bring our next model on set.
So our next model is Mrs. Candice Ganesh. Candice is wearing a bridal, and it's not the traditional red that you would see a bridal. It's a kind of hot pink.
Yeah.
So it's for the really modern bride. And the artisan work is one we sent to get done in India.
Amazing.
And we shipped it down. And I created the style of the dupatta because if you notice that it's attached to the waistband. So that is something that someone, when pleating a dupatta, I always say if Indian wear is defined by the dupatta.
Okay.
So we used a modern twist on having the dupatta onto the waistband, so it's easy to create. Because with brides you need time.
Oh, you definitely do need time, that is for sure. Let's bring our next model, which admittedly I have to say is one of my favorites.
This is Yogita Sirju. Yogita is you're wearing a twist on what most women don't wear, which is a pants and a short top. So this is a dhoti pants outfit, and Yogita is known for wearing a lot of saris. So she's basically out of her comfort zone, and she is doing such a great job with it.
And it's interesting as well, as you mentioned with the dupatta, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same design, correct?
Yeah, so I try to incorporate a unique brand touch, which is RSD.
So tell me something, an outfit like that, where would you recommend this be worn to?
Because of the nature of it and the glam and thing, it can be worn to any function. It can be worn from a simple, it depends on how you look at it, where you want to go. It is a very formal look.
Excellent. Let's bring our next model on with what is definitely a memorable piece.
This is Sunika Singh. This is a twist on the sari and the color. This outfit is made from scratch. It is not the traditional Thai sari. It is actually in two pieces.
Okay.
So we made the skirt in two, the pleated part, and the dupatta or the shawl is over 3 yards, which is basic. So because of the space, it was supposed to be a long, extravagant trail.
Understood.
As to mimic a red carpet.
And it definitely is a red carpet look, and I love the detailing as well with the jewellery as well, which definitely brings out the entire piece. Absolutely beautiful. Let's bring this next piece on set.
This is Bhumika Singh. She performed earlier as a dancer, so you see the versatility of her, and she's a sister of Sunika Singh as well, so we have sisters modeling. This again is another Bollywood-inspired evening gown garara. The gems were hand placed by me.
Oh, congrats.
Yes, and so we created, like I said, the garara into a Bollywood gown.
And we're also seeing as well, this is quite interesting with this piece that comes down here. I don't know the proper name of it. You'll tell me. From the top. That's connected to the top, correct?
Yeah, so it's just basically an extension of the fabric to mimic the pleats on a sari, but we have it there to embellish the skirt. So there's a connecting from the top to the skirt, and it provides that modesty, so it blocks the stomach area.
Actually, something that's so beautiful as well. And I love the cold shoulder.
Yeah, so again, the modern twist.
Modern twist. And this, if I'm not mistaken, a bit more traditional, correct?
This is a traditional sari. This is Ashley Harnanan. This is one of my best pieces, I would say, because I love it. It's a royal effect. But no matter how far you go, you must always remember where you came from. So whatever I do, I try to stick at least one piece as a traditional, to make sure that I always remember my heritage. So no matter how far we go, how forward we go, we always take a look back in to see how well we have developed as a culture and a people.
And it's definitely something that we're seeing this morning on the set. We're seeing that beautiful mix of tradition, modern, Western, Caribbean flair as well. How long would you say it takes for you to do a piece? Because you design for individuals, right?
Yes, I do individual pieces.
What is your process like?
It depends on the type of beading that you want, the fabric. But some fabric are easy to work with, and the creation is very fast. But then we have all this fabric with all the beading and the work, the stems and the gems. So we have to take some time and create that. So one outfit could go from 2 days, one outfit could go for 2 months.
Wow. And do you like to take risks with your design?
Yes.
Yeah?
Risk factor for fashion is the best way to go, because if you stay within your comfort zone, where is the challenge?
I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. That is for sure. And what would you say? I mean, I know that you have a long list of clients, very well-known clients throughout Trinidad and Tobago. What would you say are their go-tos? Do they stick more to the traditional or that modern?
Depends on the season. Depends on the season. So, like for the Wali, we will go more into the traditional look. Where I even though I have a lot of female models, I do a lot of male outfits as well. So they come for the more of the kurta and the dhoti pants and stuff. But as we come later, like earlier this year is Indian Arrival. So there's a choice. They're going to go traditional or you want to go modern. Depends on the avenue in which they are going to perform. They choose their design. So some will, like a person would wear the blue sari, and if we go to a more modern look, they would wear the dhoti pants.
Rajendra, I noticed something that's been trending specifically in India is that incorporation of traditional, or let's say saris, into everyday wear, particularly for the younger generation. How do you feel about that? And do you think we're ready for that in Trinidad and Tobago?
We are ready to. It's a 50-50.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the culture. So some people will be have progressed where fashion, whatever you wear, fashion is you. So from wearing a sari to go to a formal function is appreciated, the wow factor. And some people believe that you stay within your cultural heritage at any given time. So it's basically the avenue in which you go to or your event is how it is appreciated.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Before we close, would you like to share an Indian Arrival Day greeting with the country?
Well, on behalf of Rajendra Sahadeosingh Designs, I am Rajendra Sahadeosingh, wishing Trinidad and Tobago a happy Indian Arrival Day, 179 years. As a country, as a culture, we have grown, we have developed, and I hope we continue to grow, and RSD as a brand will be part of that.
Oh, you definitely will be, that is for sure. Thank you for joining us. And ladies, thank you so much for being with us this morning. Rajendra Sahadeosingh Designs here with us in studio with some memorable pieces that you definitely would love to add to your wardrobe. Stay tuned, because we are continuing to celebrate Indian Arrival Day on the Now Morning Show.
Chutney music, a fusion of Indian melodies and Caribbean rhythms, captivates audiences in Trinidad and Tobago with instruments like the dholak, tabla, sitar, and marangdaman. This dynamic genre, evolving from traditional Indian folk music, is celebrated year-round at various festivals and events.